Good afternoon. Um, okay, I think I forgot to do something here. Yes, it says I'm live now, and something has changed here. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see if anybody's here or not. Um, there we go. So welcome, welcome. Maybe not. Let me see here. Um, this program has changed something. So I'm not sure if I will be able to see comments today or not. I think I will. I'm not sure if anybody's here, but welcome to episode 24. I can't believe that it's been almost 6 months I've been doing this, and it's exciting every single time because I'm kind of down to the wire and trying to figure out what I want to do and what will keep you excited about some of the products that we have. So my name's Pat Mayer. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Akron, Ohio. Hey, LJ, there you are. Somebody can hear me. So I thought I was talking to myself there for a minute. That's what's so much fun. Anyway, if you just got here, I wasn't sure I was able to see comments today because I think I didn't press the right button at the right time. But now I can see that Nancy's here and LJ's here. And thank you for joining me. So I'm going to get started. What to do today? I'm still focusing on things that are retiring, as well as showing you some products that I don't think get much love because they're overlooked and hard to see in the catalog. Hi, Fran. Welcome. So this is my plan for today, and it's taken me until about 15 minutes ago to get this all figured out. So flying by the seat of my pants, again, as they say, stamping on the fly. Hi, Carol. I'm going to feature, let me get my things here. I'm going to feature two retiring products. One is the well-written set of dies. There are 24 dies here. Neither of these items that I'm going to showcase today are discounted yet, but they are great, great buys to grab before they're gone at the end of the month. So well-written has 24 dies in it, and I believe it's $40. And I know that sounds like a lot, but wow, you can do so much with all of these dies to go with whatever die cutting machine you have. And there are, in fact, I just counted them a little bit ago, 14 words and 10 coordinating die cuts with some flowers, some little images, a butterfly, little flowers here, a bird, a little heart, an ampersand, because the words here are bride, groom, sympathy, hooray, happy. They're great. It's on page 46 in the catalog. But to go with it is a set of 51 stamps called Well Set. So big it comes in 2 boxes. And these are the cling stamps. And it probably looks like I haven't used all of these because there's so many different ones that I haven't had a chance to use all of them. And now they're going to get retired. So why I want to show this today is to feature and showcase a much overlooked product because basically it's hard to see. And it's on page 162. We take adhesives, I think, for granted sometimes because we know that we love our green glue. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. See our green glue. We've got our snail adhesive. We've got the fine tip glue pen, glue dots, and of course we love our dimensionals, and a couple other things that I'll talk about a little bit later. And one I showed you last week, how to make your plain old red rubber stamps become cling stamps so they'll stick to your blocks. But there's one up here hiding in the corner that who even knew to look at it? And it's number 1. It was actually new last year. We'd had these before from Sizzix, and then we didn't, and now they came back last year. But they're called adhesive sheets. And it says easily adhere shapes you die cut with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, or mini, of course, and dies. Well, why would you want to use that when you've got all these other adhesives that you can use? Well, if you look at dies like this that are very thin and delicate, and we've got a lot more of thin and delicate dies in the catalog, that you struggle to get the green glue going or the fine tip glue pen, which personally is not my favorite adhesive. I don't even have it on the table here. So I don't use it very often. But this is a great product. And let me show it to you, because this doesn't show you enough. And these are sheets that are, there you can see it out of the bag here, the package, so it doesn't glare on the screen. These are 6 by 12, and you only usually use a small piece of it at a time. But I want to show, it's hard to see here, that there are little places where it divides, and beneath this part it's very, very sticky, and that's what is going to create your die cut to be able to stick on your project. So if you got that word there, stick, what you're creating is a little sticker. So that's why you could use it for any die cut, even if it's not a small, fine detailed one. So stickers are great. If you know any teachers, they can make stickers for their kids. Moms, you want to put stickers on your stuff, it's a great product. So that's why I wanted to show this today, to go along with a couple of things that are going to retire. So where to begin? Okay, let's go with a piece of basic black. And I want to make sure that none of this adhesive is going to stick over your piece of cardstock that you're going to adhere this to. So I'm going to cut that, make sure this is like this, and cut across here just with my paper snips. I could get my little mini trimmer out if I wanted to, but let's do this. And then I'm just going to snip off a little bit of this. And you don't want to get rid of any of this, because you can always peel back and use any of these little pieces. So with that in mind, I'm going to adhere down this piece. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Zoom in a little bit. And again, this is very, very sticky beneath this. And just butt those up against one another. And I don't know that I'm going to use this part, but maybe. You know what? I've got another idea. I had a piece here. I'm going to use this on here. Okay. Then I'll show you what that's going to be for in a minute. All right, the two words that I want to cut out of all of these are thanks and you. And I'm going to actually cut off the S in thanks when I get ready for this. So you could have thanks, just the word thanks on your card, or thank you by cutting off that S. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and you cut on, now I need to zoom out a little bit. You need to cut on the cardstock side. So your adhesive's on the back, and this has your thanks on here. And you. So let's put that on here. And I'm going to just leave the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here to the side where it is. But here I'm going to layer this on here. And this little piece that I put this sticky on, I'm going to put the butterfly. There's a little butterfly here. And I know that's going to go right there. So I can get all this stuck at one time, and then I'll be pretty much ready to assemble the card that I'm going to show you today. So let's put that there. So we've got a base plate, the thin die adapter, and 2 cutting plates. So let's go through there. And because I'm going through an extra layer, I'm going to back it up and actually go through again one more time. So, how was your Easter? I had a lovely day, beautiful day, and sure couldn't have asked for better weather compared to all the snow we had since we got together the last time. So after last week, we had some snow coming in. Okay, so there, I've cut out a butterfly. And I got that whole thing on there. And I've got thanks and you. So let's pull those off. Actually, the you actually stayed right in here. Just going to lay those on my little sheet there. And then while I've got the machine here, the cut and emboss, I'm going to die cut, or excuse me, emboss, because one of my panels is going to be embossed. For that, I'm going to use this plate 1 here, and it's a 3D folder that is also going to be retired. And it is the Scripty 3D embossing folder. This is a favorite one, but it's going to be retired. And I have a piece of paper that is 3 by 4 1/4 that's going to go here. And since this is going to be vertical, I want to make sure my words are going in the right direction. And for that, I need this gray embossing folder plate. And I'm going to put that in my machine and run that through. So it's just a base plate number 1, your sandwich with your embossing folder and paper, and what's called plate number 4. And so I've got all the mechanical stuff out of the way. And now I can put together the card. Okay, see that? Those pretty little words, they just go with everything. And let's fold that up. Okay. So the card I'm going to make today is a thank you. And let's see what else we've got going here. All right. Another thing is you always have strips of paper left over when you're cutting down different panels and stuff. That's a great word. You end up with all of these pieces of paper that are left over. And that's why my crafting area is always such a mess because I have so many of these little pieces of paper left over, and I just can't bear to get rid of them. So I've cut these strips down, these pretty pastel springy colors. We've got Pear Pizzazz, Seaside Spray, which is in one that's going to retire, Blushing Bride, and Daffodil Delight. So this is what is happening here. Then we'll get back to those things that I die cut out. All right, I have a panel here that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to adhere these strips to this card panel. And the easiest way to do this, to know that they're going to be kind of equal distant from each other, is to do your top one and then your bottom one. So I'm going to go blue and pink here and adhere those. And actually, when I cut these, they were from some scraps, and they're just a tad bit larger. I would rather have something that's a little bit bigger by hair and be able to trim it off and know that it's going to match my card panel exactly. So I'm going to adhere those down, and so I have some wiggle room. Hope there's enough glue in here. I'm going to use the green glue for this. So different adhesives have purposes for doing some different things that make it a little bit easier to complete your project. So hopefully there's enough in here. Yeah, I'll get it going, because the green glue gives you some wiggle room if you don't get it on there exactly. And actually, it's really called multi-purpose glue. We just call it green glue because it's in a green container. Okay, so that's going to go at the top. Then I'm going to put my bottom one on, which is Blushing Bride. Okay, and this bottle is going to need to get replaced. Okay. All right, now I can decide about how much space I need to leave for these other strips. And it's basically about 1/8 of an inch, thereabouts. Because these are 1 1/4, and my card panel is 5 1/4. So it works out mathematically that way. I know LJ is the math wizard here, so she's gonna make sure I've got my math right, right? Okay, and I'm glad this has some wiggle room on it, because there's a little bit of that white showing underneath or on the side, and I don't want that to happen. That would make me crazy. Okay. Okay, they look pretty good with about the same amount of space in between by putting the top and the bottom ones on first. So let me turn that over, and you can see that there's a little bit sticking out. That way I can line it up and trim it a little bit better. So I'm just going to use my paper snips and snip those off. Thank you, LJ. I wish I had your math brain. I was not born with a math brain. Although, with stamping, it works out pretty well, so to figure things out for measuring. And let's see if I get this straight. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Let me look at it on the other side. Okay, let's see. Yep, I have to hold it up, hold it out. Okay, because I don't stamp with my glasses on. I rarely wear my glasses in the house. I don't know, I probably need to go to the eye doctor and see if I need new glasses for things, but it works for me and I don't have to worry about it. I just wear them for driving mostly. All right, so this is the card panel that's going to go on a card base. I don't know, I just kind of like all these colors together. They're springy, they're pretty. So that's going to go on a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11. And it is scored at 5 1/2. So I had a question the other day about how to know how you cut panels down. And I do cut with my right hand. I'm left-handed though when I write. So I don't know if you've ever heard that story. I only write with my left hand. I don't do anything else with my left hand. I know, it's kind of strange. I don't know how I got that. But my family though, at least my daughter and son-in-law, are left-handed all the way. Everything. I can't cut with their scissors when I'm there because they have left-handed scissors. But the grandkids are right-handed, so I don't know how that got it. My mother was left-handed, but they switched her to right. So I don't know what happened with that. So anyway, the question that I was asked, I get off on tangents here. The question I was asked is, how do you know how to cut different panels down? Typically they're easier if they go in 1/4 of an inch. So if this is, as a basic card panel, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this happens to be a top fold, but that's still the basic card panel no matter how you cut your paper, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This becomes 4 by 5 1/4. And then you can cut things down proportionately to that same way, if that makes any sense. This piece that is going to get layered on here, as I said, was 3 by 4 1/4. So that's another panel down. Hey, Erin, welcome. Good to see you. So that is layered on like this. So if you work with 1/4 inches, 1/8 of an inch, then 1/4 inches make it a little bit easier to make sure that you've got that little bit of wiggle room. So I like to work with those, although 1/8 of an inch looks good like you've got in between here. So that being said, let's move on. And this is going to go on here. And not that you can read these words, but I do want to make sure they go in the right way. Okay. And a few weeks ago, took a whole bunch of my scraps of paper. That means I can cut and write at the same time. You know, I've never tried that. Now that's funny. That is funny. I took all my scraps, a bunch of scraps, and cut out all these pieces. I think I showed you before in another week of video. And these are from the Pierce Blooms dies that are in the January to June mini catalog. These are going to stay over. These are holding over. Sadly, this little circle die is not, but so I just went through here and found some little pieces, parts that would go with this cute little thank you card, and pulled those out to be used on here. So let's get this going and see if I've got enough glue to add to the back of this. When you have an embossing folder, oh, you're stamping while you're at work. Good for you. Okay, I think I can get enough out of this. Yay. When you use an embossing folder, because it's got texture there and you want the glue to grab onto your project, the green glue is probably the best one to use rather than a tape runner like this, I keep wanting to call it snail, the Seal or Seal Plus, because it really will grip in there. Not only that, you still have that wiggle room. And there, that got where I want it to go. All right, and let's add these little pieces. What happened to my, I had another leaf. Did the leaf go missing? I'll grab another leaf out of here. We need 2 leaves. Okay, this one's kind of big, but I think it'll work. Okay. So let's add this with a Stampin' Dimensional. It's got a little white on white there. Let's add some, I think this is Highland Heather. And my glue dots aren't handy, so I'm just going to add a little bit of seal there and layer that there. And put a leaf. There is an upside and a upside down to that leaf, so I think I got the right side. And I'm glad I put the adhesive on first because it landed on my jeans. Let's see, let's put that there. I don't like this bigger leaf, but it's going to go. Nope, that's just not going to make it. Sorry. We're going to go with 1 leaf. I don't know what happened to my second one. I thought I had pulled it out when I put things in the envelope. So this one's just going to have 1 leaf. And then I've got a little black dot for in the middle. And now let's get to those things that I cut out to begin with. And I'll go ahead and add this panel to the card. And with this, I'm using the Seal Plus. And there we go. So I've got thanks and you. The you already popped out of the die. And you also want to make sure that any little internal pieces get popped out. And there, that came out. Okay. But you can see that it's got white adhesive on the back, and that's the sticky that came from the adhesive sheet. And I'll peel that off in a minute when I figure out exactly where I want this to go. And then the thanks stayed in the die. And let me get my take your pick tool here and pop that out. And usually all the center parts will come out. Sometimes you need to poke them out a little bit. And there we go. Poke this out. Now we also have another adhesive that I might show again in a couple of weeks, and it is a foam adhesive sheet. It's the same thing as a big dimensional. I can actually show you one of those. So if you want, let's say, a word like this to pop up, these dimensional sheets, or foam adhesive sheets, come 4 by 4, and I could have put that die, peel this off. I guess I'm going in another direction here. Peel this off, put cardstock there, and then run that through with your die on it, and it pops it up just like a dimensional would. And that's how you can pop up those little fine detailed dies. But for this, I chose to use these adhesive sheets because they're just so hard to see in the catalog. And you get 12, I think you get 12 sheets of 6 by 12. That is a lot of adhesive, guys. You would not use that in a long time because you use just little bits of it. So let's get these other little pieces popped out here so I can finish off this card for you. And okay, so I want to make sure that I snip off the S of this because I just want to say thank to go along with my U. And that's going to go up here. And as long as you don't press it down too hard, too fast, you can make sure that it's straight. So there we've got thank. And now I'll peel the adhesive off of you. Thanks, Nancy. I like the pastels too. It's just that kind of time. Then I've got a few samples to show you too that I did today. Actually, I was doing samples before I actually decided which card I was going to make. So there we've got the U. And I'm just going to turn that over and press on that real hard. And then because the stamp set goes so well with all of those, they are designed to go together. And this is the thank you for this. Thoughtful, kind, generous, that's you. I'm going to stamp that on the inside, and that's where I'll add the butterfly. And I always like to stamp it on my scrap paper to make sure I'm going to get a good image. Stamp it up at the top. Perfect. And there's still room to write a little sentiment if you want to. And let's add this little sticky butterfly. And usually it will peel off pretty easily. There we go, got it. So now I've got a sticky butterfly to go in there. And there it's done. Oops, the S decided to land on there. All right, so let me show you some other designs that I came up with today. And actually I chose the same colors because this was one that I did earlier about Welcome Baby. And this embossing folder, thankfully, is staying. And it's the ornate flowers, I think. It's so cute. So same design as this one. So you could make so many different cards out of these two products, the stamp set as well as the die set. Okay, here's another one, just a little bit more monochromatic with a thanks. And I just left the S on this one. Use that element on here and strips of Coastal Cabana. Here's another one with some embossing, or excuse me, some designer paper. And Happy that came out of the stamp set, and Birthday. Very simple. Nothing over the top here at all. And this one, I put birthday wishes friend. And because the eyes didn't quite make the cut, I went ahead and put little bling on there, if you can see the basic jewels, and put the bumblebee gingham ribbon on there, which is staying over. It's not being retired. I'm so happy about that. So there's a cute little card. And then this is just a very simple note card and envelope. I sponge a little bit with our blending brushes, which by the way are still on back order. But they are coming in supposedly on April 12th, which is next week. So we'll be good there. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Nancy. And just a basic black thanks and the little flower. And that might be good after sympathy to send some thank yous. I like black and white. I think it's striking. And then here's just another basic monochromatic black and white, and this is from another very detailed die set that is being retired. What is it called? Simply Silhouettes, I believe, and that's being retired too. So that's what I have to share for you today. Thanks, LJ. Hey, Patty, good to see you. You can check the replay later if you want to see everything I've done. Thank you. So that's what I have for you today. And I want to thank everybody for coming. You can shop with me at patmayer.stampinup.net or visit my blog where I have different things on there, patstamper.typepad.com. And next week, I might have some things to show you from the new catalog. If you go to my blog, you'll see a little sneak peek of what's there, of the products that I got. And I was hoping to show my new catalog today. I can't show the inside, but just show the catalog. But my mail is running late again. Lately, it's not been getting here till like 5 or 6 o'clock, which makes me crazy. So, thanks, Erin. I thank you for all coming today. Thank you all for coming today. And I will see you again next Monday at 3:30. Have a great day. Go out and enjoy it. Bye-bye.